Imagine turning $1 into 100, not in a year, not in a month, in days. That's exactly what Bernard Madoff promised, a man they called the Wizard of Wall Street. For decades, his firm was a symbol of stability, exclusivity, and success. Politicians, millionaires, charities, banks, everyone wanted to invest with him, and he made them feel lucky to be part of his circle. But what no one knew was that it was all a lie. For over 30 years, Madoff ran the biggest financial fraud in history. More than $65 billion vanished without anyone, regulators, financial experts, or big auditors, realizing it. How did he do it? How did he fool everyone? And the most disturbing question, how is it possible something so huge happened right in front of our eyes, and no one stopped it? Today on Draconomic, I'll tell you the full story of how one man became a legend, and then the most feared villain on Wall Street, the origin of the wizard. Bernard Lawrence Madoff was born on April 29, 1938, in Queens, New York. His family was middle-class Jewish. His father, Ralph, was a plumber before trying and failing to become a stockbroker. His mother, Sylvia, was strong, determined, and also dabbled in finance until the SEC investigated her business and shut it down. Madoff grew up with frustration, ambition, and one obsession: not to be invisible. As a child, he didn't stand out. In school, he was just another kid. But from a young age, he showed a dangerous skill. He knew how to fake it. In a literature class, he pretended he had read a book that didn't exist. He invented the author, the plot, the analysis, and the teacher believed him. That was his first scam. Small, yes, but revealing. Because there, he learned something he would use for the rest of his life. If you tell a lie with enough confidence, people won't just believe you, they'll admire you. From lifeguard to financial legend. In the late 1950s, Bernie worked as a lifeguard and as a pool sprinkler installer. With those small savings and a loan from his father-in-law, he founded his firm in 1960, Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities. He was only 22 years old. At first, he traded low-value stocks, penny stocks, sectors where big players didn't bother. This gave him freedom to experiment, make mistakes, and above all, build relationships. Because Madoff understood something many investors still don't. Money follows trust. And he had more than enough charisma. One of his first big clients was Carl Shapiro, who gave him $100,000. The investment grew quickly. Shapiro, thrilled, began recommending him. And so began the snowball that would become his legend. The tech genius of Wall Street. During the 1970s and 80s, while most of Wall Street still used paper and phones, Madoff bet on something no one else saw: technology. He invested in automation, computer systems, and played a key role in creating the NASDAQ, the first electronic stock exchange. From 1990 to 1993, he even served as NASDAQ chairman. His firm handled up to 10% of the New York Stock Exchange's daily volume. He had contacts in politics, finance, and regulation. His reputation was flawless. He wore tailored suits, lived on Park Avenue, owned a mansion in Palm Beach and a house in France. He was the American dream personified. But like any good magic trick, the important part was hidden. The trick, the perfect Ponzi scheme. Madoff didn't promise the moon. He didn't offer to multiply your money in weeks. He wasn't a crypto scammer or a YouTube guru. He promised something more powerful: safety, a 12% return, always, in good times, in crises, in recessions, stable, fixed, perfect. His supposed strategy was called split strike conversion, a real technique that combines buying stocks, selling call options, and buying put options. In theory, a method to protect capital and ensure moderate returns. But here's the catch. He never used that strategy. Madoff didn't invest the money, he kept it in bank accounts. And when a client asked for their profit, he used new investors' money to pay them. A Ponzi scheme. Classic, simple, deadly. Trust as currency. Madoff's real talent wasn't investing, it was emotional manipulation. He didn't accept just anyone. You could only invest with him if someone from the circle recommended you. That created an aura of exclusivity. He started with wealthy Jewish communities in New York, then in Florida's Palm Beach, and later in Europe. International banks and Hollywood stars begged to invest with him. Why? Because he didn't sell returns. He sold status. Being with Madoff meant being one of the chosen. And when someone makes you feel special, you stop asking questions. Warnings ignored. In 1999, Harry Markopoulos, a financial analyst from Boston, was asked to replicate Madoff's strategy for a client. After looking at the numbers, he knew something was wrong. The returns were too constant, too perfect. Statistically, it was impossible to get those results with the strategy Madoff claimed to use. Markopoulos wrote reports, built models, requested meetings with the SEC. Nothing. The Securities and Exchange Commission ignored him for almost a decade, even when he offered to infiltrate Madoff's firm to get evidence. But Madoff was NASDAQ's chairman, friend to senators, political donor, philanthropist. He was untouchable. The crisis that broke the lie. For more than 30 years, the scheme worked. As long as money kept coming in, everything was fine. But in 2008 came the Great Recession. Markets collapsed. Investors began asking for their money back. Madoff got withdrawal requests for more than $7 billion. In his accounts, there was only $200 million. The facade was over. On December 10, 2008, in his luxury Manhattan apartment, he confessed everything to his family. His sons, devastated, reported him that same night. The next day, the FBI knocked on the wizard's door. The trial of the century. Madoff was arrested and charged with 11 federal crimes: securities fraud, money laundering, perjury, theft, and more. In 2009, he pleaded guilty. He didn't apologize. He didn't defend himself. He simply said, "This whole thing is one big lie." The judge sentenced him to 150 years in prison. His wife, Ruth, said she felt betrayed. His sons cut ties with him. Mark, one of them, took his own life in 2010. Andrew died of cancer in 2014. The Madoff family was destroyed. Where is the money? Madoff claimed to manage $65 billion, but more than half was invented profits. Fake numbers printed on falsified account statements. By 2022, about $14.5 billion had been recovered. A fraction of the total. Lessons we can't forget. The Madoff case isn't just a fraud story. It's a mirror, because Madoff didn't hide. He was on magazine covers, at charity dinners, in the heart of Wall Street. And still, no one saw it coming. Or worse, many saw it, but chose not to ask questions. The three key lessons are: 1. If something seems too stable to be real, it probably isn't. 2. Don't invest in what you don't understand. 3. Trust without verification is a trap. Bernie Madoff died in prison in April 2021, but his story lives on. Because today, in a world full of TikTok, financial experts, Instagram crypto bros, and promises of instant financial freedom, scams haven't disappeared. They've just changed their face. If you want to learn how to protect your money, make smart financial decisions, and avoid modern traps, this channel is for you. Data, logic, and no smoke. Subscribe to DRAKONOMIC, turn on the bell, and tell me in the comments, do you think Madoff was a misunderstood genius or a scammer from day one. See you in the next video.